In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP. Hey, Gumpers.
Hey, hola, bon dia, Algria. Munson here from expatsportugal.com with the Good Morning Portugal show, live stream and podcast. How are you this morning? How was your weekend? Now, I have got to admit, I am so tired. Mrs. M suggested that we watch the eclipse last night. Did anyone else see that? Oh, my goodness. It was great. It was worth getting up for at 4 this morning. It reminded me of when I used to be a postman back in Devon in the UK. And I used to get up, I think, at 4:30 or 4:45 every day. And I remembered the feeling, that awful sandpapery eyeball. Oh, my God, what am I doing feeling? Especially when you stayed up until 1 in the morning or something and couldn't. I can't go to bed early and then I have to get up early like when I was a postman. And my goodness, it just was so much like that. But the upside, of course, of being up early is that there's no one else around, is it? It is God's own time to be alone in the early hours of the morning. It's fantastic. Barely a soul around, the occasional cockerel crowing, the birds coming to life. Really beautiful and amazing to see the lunar eclipse in the sky. So did anybody else see that this morning? How's everybody doing? Did you have a nice weekend? I had a great weekend. Got quite a few photos to show you, but so have a lot of other people, it would seem. I wanted to show you a lovely video of a hoopoe bird, a curious hoopoe bird over at John and Paula's place, just down the road from me. I'll see if I can do that now because I can't cope with anything too difficult this morning, quite frankly. So bear with. This could be an interesting morning. Gilda here. I haven't even done the banner this morning. Oh, thank you for being so accepting. I'm just going to assume that you are very accepting, and we'll make an allowance for my shortcomings this morning. We, of course, have Gilda. Migration Monday, we have Gilda from 9 o'clock. And, of course, hey, this one should work. Let's have a look. How was your weekend? Migration Monday with Gilda Pereira at 9 a.m. Before that, James Holley's Thought from the Redwoods. Yes, we're in business, everybody. Here's one I made earlier. So Reflections from an American from California and new to Portugal. And we may, of course, as you've seen from the picture for the show notes, the show sleeve. It's almost like having an album cover, isn't it? And I have been told off for this because the album covers for the Good Morning Portugal show can be a little bit of clickbaity, and they just say one thing about a 90-minute show. And somebody said to me, "Can you timestamp when the actual issue on the picture?" Oh, hello, Bonnie Tyler. How are you? Oh my God. Just complaining about how tired you made me last night. I'd love a coffee. Oh, yes, that's a great idea. Thank you. 3 coffees, please. To the studio. Good morning, everyone, from Mrs. M this morning. Now, where was I before I was very nicely interrupted there? Oh, yes, we were talking about Redwoods. No, I forget. completely lost where I am now. But I've got some lovely photos to show you from a fantastic weekend. Others have as well. Hoopoe birds, John and Paula. Did we get there? Oh, I don't know. Let's just bring that onto the screen now. Give you a little treat of a curious hoopoe bird. And I'll see if I can bring this onto the screen for you usefully. Let's have a look. Because he's such a charming little creature. Oh, yeah, I got it. Okay. Let me bring it onto the screen for you now. Oh, things seem to have slowed up. No, I think we're good, aren't we? Let me just bring that onto the screen for you there, and you'll see this curious, cheeky little fellow on the silver coaster. Hoopoe birds are absolutely delightful, and here's one for you now. Here we go. Come on, computer, help me out here. Oh, it's free. Oh, here we go. Isn't that lovely? Coming up to the screen to have a little tap. Love that. Oh, where's he gone now? Gone to do something else now. Let's just watch that from the beginning, because I don't think you saw the beginning of him truffling around in the. Oh, did you hear that bee as well? That's superb, isn't it? So from the Rooney's house this weekend, little hoopoe bird. Isn't that beautiful? Tap 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 on the screen. You did hear right, Stephen, but it's not what you think. Oh, beautiful hoopoe bird there. Have you seen one of those? It's such a treat. To see those as one of the new, many and new natural wonders that you'll see over here in Portugal. Yes, thank you, Hussein Ali. Adorable. Yeah, tapping on the screen as well like that. Isn't that fantastic? Oi, Alcabasa! Susie over in the campsite in Alcabasa, because it's one of the best campsites in the country, I think. Let's have a look at yes, and crack goes the screen as the hoopoo bird tries to taste it. So Susie's over in Alcabasa. She too sent me a video. This is the campsite, I think, in San Martino de Porto, not Alcabasa. And the Alcabasa campsite is brilliant. It's right in the middle of town. The San Martino campsite is brilliant because it's right on the beach. Suze, what can you add anything to this? Give a little bit of commentary from the comments.
Here's some more. You know, I was all alone in this spot at the back of the park. And now the weekend arrivals are showing up and setting up. And I can smell fabulous cooking already. At some point, somebody, oh, here comes another one. Somebody's going to say hi or hola.
There you go. Fabulous. The smell of fabulous cooking already. Isn't that superb? Thank you very much for that, Suze. And you sent me some other pickies as well. Let's have a look at those. Because you're on the move again, I think. You've had quite an adventure so far. Lots of fantastic. Why is my microphone so low? And why have a load of icons disappeared? That's really worrying. A load of icons have disappeared. Oh, my goodness. Turn you back for 1 minute. I can't turn it up any more than that. Let me see if I can put the microphone up a bit. Okay, I can hear myself a bit better now. I hope you can too. Now, Anna sent in some beautiful pictures. James has sent in some beautiful pictures. Where are yours? Oh, yeah, a snooker table, billiard table from Sue's there. This lovely building is on the outskirts of Óbidos. You drive past it on the way to the castle. Here's the castle, by the way, in the distance. Isn't that fantastic? And up on the hill there, isn't that a fantastic fortification? And oh, that's the Ida de Fonte, isn't it? Carrying water. That's not Sue's. My pictures have got mixed up this morning. Here's Taxi playing chess. Yes, good move. Good move. Good move, Taxi. Good opening there. Yeah, and this great big church here is on the outskirts of Óbidos. You drive past it heading for the castle, but worth a look, I'd say. So I think safe to say, Suze is enjoying herself. We didn't get to the sea slug, did we? What creature is this? A manta ray? Some kind of chewy, sluggy thing from the water? Leave it alone, Jack Polly. let it be. But it's quite an amazing picture. Looks like a Pink Floyd cover from the 1970s. Right. Okay. So let's see how everyone else is doing before. What's this? My icons have been eclipsed. It's so true. Oh, well, I've got to show you some of my own photos as well. Deborah Davies, good morning. We'll ask that question of Gilda later on. Where have all mine gone? I'm running two screens here. Icons have disappeared. There's been Mercury in retrograde. What could possibly go wrong is going wrong right now. Did anyone watch the cup final as well? I went to Waves Bar. Thanks, Mary. Great burger. Can't wait to have a beer in there. And when my beer fast is over in July. But thank you, Waves, for your hospitality and putting on the Chelsea Liverpool game. Bit boring, really, wasn't it? And what a terrible way to end the match. Oh yes, James, let me do the link for you as well. I'm so tired this morning, but you don't need to know about that. You don't need to know about that. Let's send the link to James so that he can actually join us in a few minutes. Times he's such a pro. He's so relaxed. And I'm sending him the link now while I try and bring some of my own photos to the screen for you. Yeah, Chelsea and Liverpool, but good for Liverpool, right? Because they're on to win the quadruple. And of course, well done, United Kingdom in the Eurovision later on Saturday. Nearly. I think my theory about the Eurovision is that people were typing in Ukraine and there was an autocorrect. And so UK, I mean, it's a good song. Sam Ryder, I thought was really good. Well done, Sam Ryder. But I think people were typing in Ukraine, and all of their computers thought it was UK, and it just kept getting sent off. Prematurely, can happen to anybody. I have lovely pictures to send to you from San Martino de Porto, where there was a paragliding competition, like a base jumping paragliding thing going on at the weekend. It was absolutely brilliant. And some lovely photos. Actually, photos of the aftermath of that. Aftermath or aftermath, whichever you prefer. And a very big egg. I'm about to show you a huge egg, which would have caused the chicken who laid it. If my memory was better, I'm sure I'd have been able to call to mind when the chicken in the backyard was going, walk, walk, because this is a big egg, folks. I'm about to show you. That's the sort of noise you'd have made, my friend, if you'd have laid that egg as well. So just slowly downloading these in real time for you now. They're worth it. Believe me, they're worth it. And we got a few more from people in this lovely community of ours this morning as well. Trombones being played in Lausanne as well. Peter Bleach, behave yourself in the comments this morning. So a few more pickies to show you quickly before we bring on Mr. Holley. What's he calling himself this week? We haven't even got to the comments yet. What kind of show is this, quite frankly? Bonnie Tyler. That's probably the most important picture to show you. Once upon a time, these are the greatest lyrics, aren't they, of the 70s? Once upon a time, there's light in my life, and now there's only love in the dark. There you go. There's my Eclipse tribute there. Bonnie Tyler. Fabulous. And then over the weekend, the red carpet. This is where people were throwing themselves off the cliff and paragliding down to the beach on the other side. Just want to show you a few of my pickies. Oh, this one from James, actually, from Ericeira this weekend. And they are Swecker players. Very good. Very timely, very topical. Talking about Swecker, of course, with Philomena on Friday. And with Philomena, we talked about Ida de Fonge collecting water from the local well, and mum and cousin of Philomena collecting water. And it must have been a Sunday. They look so well dressed, don't they? Maybe collecting, or maybe did people in Portugal at that time always dress so smartly? They look fantastic there. Bonnie Tyler, lovely. I saw these. I was out for a walk, saw these lovely. Look at that in a rugged landscape, windswept Atlantic terrain, beautiful flowers there. The Swecker game from James. That massive egg. That was delicious, folks. It was half yolk. I think it must have been a double yolker. Out with the boy, walking the dogs on Saturday morning. Found this cheese that you might like. The queijo de mistura, mistura referring to the fact that it's got cow, goat, and sheep milk in it. Aprecia Ramos with garlic and oregano. A bit like a Boursin cheese, but a bit more waxy and solid. Back to the parasailing, paragliding. And of course, at every Portuguese event, there must be catering. Freguesia San Martino de Porto coming up trumps with this event, and a great catering van there. And then Saturday evening, look at this, a lovely shot of the beach at San Martino de Porto. Not too busy in the bay this weekend. I was quite surprised, but maybe because it was a bit windy and cloudy. It's time to play this now, and we'll come back to your comments later when Gilda's with us. Thank you, everybody, for being here this morning. But we need some of this now. You know him as Banana Slug, and we love that music, don't we, James? Good morning.
I'm loving it more and more every week. Good morning, everyone.
How you doing?
I'm doing wonderfully, thank you.
Right. Well, what's been on your mind, sir? Have you had a nice weekend, first of all? Thank you for that photo. That's not it. Gentleman playing Swecker. So many pictures, James. Yeah, there.
Yes.
You took. Thank you for that.
So what a blessing. I mean, you're out in the sun playing a card game at the ocean. Like, does life get any better than that?
Well, is that us in our dotage, do you think? That's not a bad way to end up, is it?
Nah, not at all. Not at all.
Talk with about friends. Politics. Yeah, chew the fat, play the game, have a beer. Amazing. I'm up for it.
One of my favorite Portuguese words, perfeito.
Perfecto. Sí. So you've had a good weekend by the sound of it. What has been
I
on
did.
your
I've been
mind?
spending some time with one of our riot.
Who
To
did you
say
meet
it,
up
then
with?
Tina, who tracked me
Somebody.
down on the show. We had spent a couple days having the opportunity to show off Erisira to her.
Gina.
Yes, Gina Turner, I think it is. Yes, no, not
Tina
Turner. That's
Turner. You met up with Tina
no,
Turner.
no, that's Ian. That's Ian. I'm getting all my names mixed up. Carter. I said she's Peggy's sister. You know Peggy Carter from from the Avengers. Aye.
Morning, Gina.
Too many
I
names
said,
to remember, but I'm having a good time. Yes.
more
Anyway, she's
importantly,
planning
then,
on
did you get your
heading up
coffee?
to your neck of the woods for the meetup on Wednesday. So
Oh, excellent stuff.
she's just in the process of finding a place to stay while she's there. So
Fantastic.
I'll be hanging out a little bit more with her today, and then take a big long nap, I think. I'm just not used to all this socializing.
Well, yeah, I think that's the way it rolls here. You know, the weekends are so great that you have to have a little bit of a tired Monday and maybe sleep it off on a Monday afternoon. So if you could stay awake for this feature, it'd be fantastic.
Happy to. No problem at all.
Okay. So what you been thinking?
Well, it's funny. Almost every week, I say, "Oh, there's one or two things from the last one that I missed or that I want to emphasize or whatever." So I'm finding a little brief recap or summary of those things to start feels right. One of the things I wanted to point out, we were talking about electromagnetic fields and being a part of, our human existence, but EMFs are, and that's electromagnetic fields, EMFs, are a part of every living thing. Plants, animals, bacteria, you name it, there's electromagnetic fields being projected. And I'm sure many of us have had the experience, I know I have, particularly with this reference to the Redwoods, of going into an all natural area, especially if it's filled with trees, and just feeling somehow better. We just feel calmer, we feel more alive. And that's because all the trees, all the plants are emitting these electromagnetic fields that are not impacted in any way by negative electromagnetic energy. So you're just walking into this giant field of positive electromagnetic energy. I said, wow, okay. Now, see, this is the part I said last week, what I love. Like, I know it's true, but now it's like the science just is showing why it's true. Like, here's the reason. So if you're ever feeling low, take a walk, get out into the woods, hug a tree.
Yeah, absolutely. They were right, weren't they, those hippies? The hippies have always been right, haven't they? Let's face it.
I think so. And then there was a comment about the overruling of our feelings, or the disregard of our emotions, like we're trying to push them away. And it's reflected in the language, even when we say it's just a feeling, like it's not important. And I think, again, that we're not giving our heart and the way it communicates with us enough credit. We're, like, no, it's not just a feeling like it's unimportant. It is a feeling. We should consider it, but we don't need to let it define us in any given moment. This is the feeling I'm having in the moment, just like a thought, fleeting. So notice it, recognize it, embrace it, and then if it doesn't suit you, let it go, which is a choice.
Oh man, we're never going to get to play cards because you and me are going to be talking about this as well, aren't we? When we're old giffers down by the beach there.
Yes,
What is the right amount? What is the right amount of attention for a feeling? Do you think, James?
Well, this is actually leading in perfectly. I didn't do this on purpose. I chose, and that wasn't chosen perfectly. I mean, intentionally, to talk about choice today. So here we are, coming from that motto that I share so often: notice, choose, and act. That three-way approach to living a life. Before I move into there, I want to give the organization where I learned that from, because very little of what I talk about is original creative stuff. It's stuff I have been exposed to or engaged in and learned from. But Notice, Choose, and Act came from an amazing organization called Challenge Day, where you can't really sum it up, but essentially they're working in high schools and middle schools on issues of oppression, bullying, and getting to know each other better as a way of reducing that particular dynamic in schools. It's so much more than that, but their motto is Notice, Choose, and Act. And one of the qualities of that I always like to share is they instructed, notice that it says Notice, Choose, and Act, not notice, beat yourself up, choose, and act. Because so many of us go, oh, and we just notice that I shouldn't be doing that. It's like, no, don't beat yourself up. Just notice. Come on, give yourself a break. Be kind. And that kind of goes to where I am with the issue of choice. It's easy to, well, even there in the beating yourself up for noticing something about yourself that you don't like, you have a choice. You don't have to beat yourself up. But, again, if you're conscious in the notice part that you have a choice, then you might not beat yourself up, or you might, depending on your nature and how you're feeling in the moment. But at least it's a choice. And this is where, again, in the language, to me, language is so powerful, which is why I have consciously and intentionally shifted some of the ways that I present my experience. Because we say things like, I have to go to the store. I have to go to work. I have to. It's no, you don't. You choose to. And it may not feel like you're making a choice. I don't have a choice. I don't have food. I have to go to the grocery store. Well, that's true. Those facts are true. But you have a choice. You don't have to go to the grocery store, but there's a consequence to every choice we make. Life is just choice after choice after choice after choice. It's just perpetual choices throughout a living life. So what happens if I don't go to the grocery store? Well, I remain hungry and I don't have food. What happens if I do go to the grocery store? Well, I can obtain food and not be hungry. So my choices are go or don't go. But don't we take freedom away from ourselves by framing it like we're obligated to it. We don't have a choice. When we don't have a choice, we're not free. And everything is a choice. How we feel, how we react, what we say, how we behave, everything is a choice. Now, I will concede that sometimes circumstances present in our lives, and we can argue whether we created that or not. I'll opt to not choose that right now, because sometimes we are victims of violence or a family that treats us poorly, and those kinds of things. I didn't have a choice in that, so I won't go into the spiritual end of whether you did or not. But if we're going to assume, well, yeah, you did not have a choice in that, but you do have a choice how you respond to it, how you react to what happens to you. And that's a big part of my therapeutic approach, is when we're looking at people who experience trauma in their lives. It's like, the freedom you have is to choose differently now. You're not in it now. So how do you choose to be in your life now? And when we can come there, bring it to the present, then there's power. I can choose my reaction. And we forget that, and we forget it in our languaging, our languaging of obligation. I must do that. I need to do that. I have to do that. So one of the things in the choices I've made about my career, for instance, which is a huge blessing for me and was a very long process, but I'm now living a life of passion because I figured out what my passion was, and I chose this. And in the past, I would wake up in the morning very often with that feeling, I have to go to work. I think most of us can relate to that feeling. And ever since I made the decision to become a therapist and to go through that process and to continue growing in my life, it's now I wake up and I go, oh, I get to work today. I chose this. I choose to go to work. I get to. I want to. And there's power in that, and freedom in making the choices. I've made, because of the way my mind works, I've made what I call the equation to choice making. There's sort of a victim position of life is happening to me, which implies I don't have a choice. And I say, well, it's that plus two. And people say, what? It's like, it's not life happening to you, it's life happening for you. So that's plus two. And it's my sort of math geeky mind, but it's another one of those things that makes it easier to remember. Oh, that's right. It's not happening to me, it's happening for me. So instead of saying, why is this happening to me? I can say, how is what's happening for me?
Yeah.
So even in the position of things sucking, like, oh, this situation sucks, you can still choose, if you choose to, say, what's in this for me? What's happening right now that feels sucky to me that is actually for my benefit, something that I can benefit from? So there's a shift in attitude, and therefore a shift in the quality of your life when you're choosing actively to grow and to expand. Again, the energy of love is expansive and growing, and like this, when you choose that, that's the state you get to be in. Yes. When you're choosing the obligation and the need, there's that restriction, and that's the fear aspect. So there's power and freedom in choice if we remember it. We can choose things.
So good, so good, so liberating. Because the whole thing, the whole drama of all of these things happening to me, and I have to do this and I have to do that, again, is a constricting and deadening influence, isn't it, in our lives? Whereas, I actually chose most of this before and I forgot, and now I'm pretending I'm having to do it when it was in fact an earlier choice. Seeing that is so liberating.
You didn't have to be on the show this morning. You were tired. You didn't have to be.
I never have to be here. And people say to me, you must dread it sometimes. But it is partly, no, I don't, because I love it. But also because I remember what you just said. I made this happen. I decided to do this. So you've got to take responsibility for that as well, haven't you? Which then goes back into a little bit into the sort of what sounds a little bit negative possibly, but I chose this and I love it. So I mean, what better combination could there be with that?
And I had a real life experience that I enjoy sharing, a little anecdote, because I also advocate for having the feelings that you have, being the way you choose to be. Like, there's no, we behave as if there's a rule book for how we're supposed to exist in the world, and there's not.
Yes,
there simply is not. I have to raise my children. No, you don't. And there's a lot of people, oh my God, well, if you have children, you're irresponsible if you don't. And all of that may be true, but you don't have to. Yes. And there are people who choose not to, and they live the consequences of those choices, and the people that impacts them, then they get to figure out how they want to deal with it. But there's nothing that we're obligated to do by, innately.
Aren't we lucky? Yeah, we're blessed, aren't we, in that way, to have this blank canvas. And what, James, just finally, we have Gilda limbering up and ready to be all Migration Monday-ish with us. As I was sat on the porch, not on the porch, it sounds like the right place to be sat watching an eclipse, isn't it? On the porch in an American style. We're on our first floor balcony looking at this fantastic lunar eclipse last night, thinking about Bonnie Tyler, of course. I'll never tire of showing this particular picture from my teenage years. And I thought to myself as we sat there at 4:30 this morning, life is so busy, and it is full of the choices we make, isn't it? And we do make it busy ourselves, because at 4:30 in the morning, life isn't very busy, and one can be very present to all the choices one has made that are breathing down one's neck as the week starts again. And there was just a few birds singing, and an occasional car going along the road, somebody having to get up early, choosing to get up early to go to work. And I just thought, our lives are so complicated. And you're absolutely right. Most of that complication has been chosen by us, has it not?
Absolutely. I would love to share just this one anecdote, because I think we kind of, once we become aware, there's that possibility of beating ourselves up. But I actually had this experience once. I was just feeling what I call pissy, just one day, and I was conscious of it. I said, I feel pissy today, and my immediate response was, that's okay. You can feel pissy if you choose to. There's nothing wrong with feeling pissy. Just be pissy if you want to. So I said, all right, I choose to be pissy. And immediately it was like, why the hell would I do that? The awareness, the consciousness of the choices, why would I choose that now that I'm conscious? And it's an amazing dynamic when you can engage in that process of knowing that you're at choice with everything, even how you feel. And that has an application in our, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
It's a superpower, James, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Absolutely. And it's important to keep in mind in this whole immigration process, we can feel like we don't have a choice and like we're powerless, but we do. And it's, those of us who are here chose to be here. Those of us who are looking at it are in the process of making that choice. Be aware you're not a victim. If stuff is screwing with your mind, just let it go. Like, I made the choice to be here. That's a part of the process. That's one of the consequences of the choice I'm making. And eventually I'll make it and I'll be happy I made that choice. It's just such a better, not better, a more
empowering,
peaceful, more empowering way to go through, make that choice.
What a fantastic way to hand over the baton to Gilda Pereira from EI. So let's play your theme tune. Thank you so much, James. We'll see you again next Monday. Looking forward to it.
See you next week.
Bye. And we go from Ericeira to south of Lisboa this morning to say hola, bom dia, alegria to Gilda Pereira of Hey, how are you doing, Gilda?
Bom dia, Carl. Como estás?
Muito bem, obrigado, e muito cansada.
Hoje vamos fazer tudo em português.
You want to do... No, come on, you've got to give me more warning than this. We're doing the whole session in Portuguese. Now, we've lost Gilda, haven't we? And I think you thought you might have lost me for a minute, but no, I'm back. I'm not sure what happened. We may have had a power outage here. I lost my Wi-Fi connection. I don't know where Gilda's gone. So sorry, Gilda. Okay, questions for Gilda. Anyone take it away, Gilda? So what happened there? Yeah, and I think speaking Portuguese broke the show this morning. Too much Portuguese for Carl this early in the mornings. Sam Nasri. Oh dear, Gilda, you're on your own now. So I don't know what happened there, but I hope she'll come back soon. Let me send her a message. Okay. Wow, what happened there, Gilda? Did I leave you all alone?
Yes, I guess so. It was
I
not
am.
all this time.
Do you know what? People are very excited about that. Oh dear, Gilda, you're on your own now. Okay, questions for Gilda. Anyone? Take it away, Gilda. You'd have been fine. And bom dia, Gilda. Ok, fico bloqueado ante a mesa de fazer a programa de hoje. Is that what? So it broke the show trying to speak too much Portuguese basically this morning, right?
Yeah.
We should never do that again, okay? Yes. Okay, we will do it. We will do it. We'll increase our amounts of Portuguese during the show. It's only right to do that. But as you can see, it's quite dangerous. It's quite dangerous to do that as well. How are you this morning, Gilda? How's the family? How's Mandela?
Everyone is fine, Carl. We had a good weekend. We had fun. We went out. Yeah, it was fine.
Excellent stuff. Over on this end of Portugal, on the Silver Coast, there was a paragliding competition. And this was later in the evening because I went back after the event had finished, Gilda. But the people were running along this red carpet and throwing themselves off the end of the cliff there with parachutes on the landing on the beach on the other side. Would you do such a thing?
Yes, I would. With someone with experience.
Okay, but I don't think you can do it tandem. These folks are on their own when they throw themselves off.
On my own, no.
Okay, fair enough. And Saturday evening, Eurovision. United Kingdom nearly won. My theory is that UK, people were typing in Ukraine. They got to UK. The computer thought it was UK, sent UK to first position. The people's vote came in. And then obviously Ukraine, with a massive outpouring of love and support for Ukraine, won the title. But Portugal did very well too, didn't they? What's she called? Mora, is it? With Saudade, Saudade. Maro. I'm not on record as being very supportive of the song, but only from a Eurovision context. I think it's a lovely song, and I've been listening to it separately. Well, what was your verdict about that?
I wasn't home on Saturday night, so I didn't see the contest. I'm not a big fan of the song. I think it's a little bit boring. So I'm surprised we got too far.
Well, I have to admit, that's how it occurred to me when I first heard it. A little bit downbeat and sad. And not the sort of thing that rocks your socks off like you're meant to do at Eurovision. Thank you so much for the coffee. But me and Mrs. M have been listening to it separately, and I would urge everybody to give it a chance. It is beautiful. And the important thing for expats, for foreigners, for migrants coming in, is that they can learn about Saudade. The song is called Saudade, Saudade. Can you give us a very quick explanation of how you interpret Saudade and why that's important to the Portuguese consciousness and character and personality?
Saudade, it's a feeling when you miss something or someone very much, and I think it started when the navigators went to discover a new world. And the moms, the wives, and the brides were crying and see them lifting on the, how do you call the boats?
They were in the harbour waving goodbye, weren't they? As their beloved sailed away. Yeah,
I think it was when the feeling, because this was a word to explain a feeling that the Portuguese had, and then it started to be very connected with the fado, which is always also very typical Portuguese.
Yep. Okay, so for the contemporary grasp and production of contemporary musical production that conveys the spirit of Saudade, check out Maro. And there's a beautiful acoustic version on YouTube where she and her fellow singers, a choir, and 4 guitar players are playing under this vaulted ceiling, and it sounds absolutely beautiful. So well done, Portugal, anyway, for Saturday night. Well done, Ukraine. Nearly well done, United Kingdom. And well done, Liverpool. Okay, Baldylocks is in this morning. Tony's here. How you doing? And Hussein Ali. Good morning, fellows. Good morning to you, Antonio F. Lovely picture of you, Antonio F. with Rebel Mama and our resident historian, the Prof. So many pictures in this morning. Where did that one get to? Oh my goodness! I think I might have to come back to that and put that on the screen a little bit later on. Or can I find it right now? I would so like to show you that right now. Oh yes, here they are. Very beautiful. Little trio of people here. Look at this. I love it when Gumpers meet up. The Prof on the right, Antonio on the left, and it's a Rebel Mama sandwich, everybody, this morning. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you for that, Prof, coming to your history as well during the show today. Yeah, because I'm a bit mixed up this morning and a bit tired with so much going on and staying up to watch the eclipse this morning, Gilda. We'll work our way through all these comments, events, and a bit of Portuguese history. Galadriel, so lovely to see you as well. Bon dia to you, Galadriel. And Andy the Porky Feet, who sent in loads of events that are going up in the Bairrada district. Do you know what? The Bairrada district seems to be where the best partying goes on in Portugal. I don't know what it is. Andy's winning again with these posters of festas and happenings. So I think central Portugal, just above possibly Aveiro district, lots going on there. They know how to party. Did I just hear Carl is tired as Mrs. M made him get up in the middle of the night? Yes, to watch the eclipse. Honestly, what you like. And an earlier greeting from the Prof. Who's that in the picture there? Bon dia, Antonio, meu amigo.
There is a politician, Passos Coelho.
Yes, he looks like he's at Orient Station or somewhere outdoors facing rigorous questioning from a journalist there. We'll find out more in just a minute, I'm sure. We had a lovely weekend. Minister of Home Affairs birthday. Parabéns, Mrs. McKillen. Great to and see lovely pictures of you on Twitter, Deagle, having a beautiful time. You and your love there. And adorable. Showed a video of a hoopoe bird earlier on, Gilda. It was absolutely beautiful. Pecking at the screen. Cindy B is in. Bon dia, alegria, Gumpers. And crack goes the screen. Yeah, that was the hoopoe having a little tap on the screen there. Hope you had a fabulous weekend. Did you pick anything up from the flea market, Prof? And first question for you. Oh, love that chessboard. Before we go there, we see a dog playing chess. All of life is here, Gilda. Have you ever seen a dog playing chess before? There you go.
No.
Mandela might want to play chess with Taxi there. So first question in this morning. Hi, Deborah Davies, with one of her fabulous work. Is that one of yours there, Deborah? Hi, I'm a Brit with residency in Portugal waiting for a CEF appointment. Join the queue. I've just realized I've no idea what will happen when I do see them. How am I inconvenienced by having to wait for an appointment? Okay, so how bad is it to be waiting all this time? And I think part of that question is what is an appointment with CEF like? What will it be like when Deborah finally goes in to see them, Gilda?
One thing, does she has a visa, or what does she had a crew and now she wants to change it to a resident permit? Because those are two different things.
It's the latter, I think. So she's already got the residency for Portugal from before with the crew and is wanting to upgrade, I guess you could call it.
Then she needs to wait for them to decide the process, because they don't really know yet if it's going to be with CEF or it's going to be with the City Hall.
Oh,
most likely it's going to be with the City Hall, because CEF is very busy.
And that's how the crews were done previously, wasn't it, with the City Hall?
Yes, but they are going to put like a CEF machine there. I think they are already making I know that they are already making an experience in Azores with a machine like that. It's like a CEF machine at the City Hall, and then they will take a resident permit car over there.
I could make a joke about a CEF machine, couldn't I? No, I'm not going to. Okay, so there you go. There you go, Deborah. And by this stage, you should have gone online as well to get yourself a QR code. That's what's meant to happen by this stage, isn't it, for the Brits?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And what are the consequences for those Brits who keep putting this off? and not getting their QR code. I mean, presumably it doesn't matter that much because, as you say, Seth haven't figured out what they're going to be doing anyway. But that is meant to be the process, right? You're meant to have translated yourself from a paper holding crew person into a QR and into the proud owner of a QR code, right?
Yes. So you can get out and get into the country.
Ah, yes. Now that's where you may encounter problems. If you don't have the QR code, you might find yourself in a little bit of difficulty that you've only got a piece of paper. Well said, well said. Happy Eclipse Day. I'm guessing you didn't get up at 4:30 to have a look at it.
I didn't even know that was going to be an eclipse.
Really? Well, I'm afraid you've missed it. It's not going to happen for another 3,000 million years now. No, only kidding. It happens apparently since me and Mrs. M have been together, which is let me see, how old is my eldest? Since we've been together, which is just over 10 years, there have been 30 such eclipses. So you do get to see them from time to time. Okay, so it's not like you're gonna have to wait decades. These things do happen, but who honestly wants to get up at 4:30 in the morning? But then again, if you're not going to see it in the afternoon, are you, or in the daytime? So there you go. It's the price we pay. Peter Bleach, the prof at the flea market picked up a nice drawing of Fernando Pessoa and a revolutionary poster. Very pleased with my haul. Pictures, please. I'm at a resort, says Sue's rental van is a claustrophobic too. You don't often hear van lifers saying that. Needed a good sleep. Casa de Padera was the only one that took dogs if you rented a house. Not allowed in rooms, will come back. Lovely. So shout out to Casa de Padera in Alcabasa, I think, this morning. Daniel, it's called a Spanish dancer. Is that the hoopoe bird? I wonder. Daniel Barberini, how lovely to meet you. Thank you for being here this morning. Hola, bon dia. Nice videos this weekend, Carl. Cheers, Trevor. Isn't it fantastic when we all get together on a Monday and people sharing their weekend experiences? Good morning, lovely people. My question was so long, I didn't have the opportunity to tell you are all lovely. Isn't that fantastic?
Oh,
we'll take it. We'll take it. My ears. I think this is when I was doing a chicken impersonation a little bit earlier on. Would you like to know why I was doing a chicken impersonation?
No.
Okay, we'll move on then. Oh, you've ruined my... Good answer, though. Awesome. I do love a revolutionary poster. Spurs thrashed the Arsenal and Burnley and Spain's Eurovision entry were my weekend highlights, and obviously Carl's immortalized. Well, thank you very much. Another question for you, Gilda. Bon dia, Carl and Gilda. People know you're going to be here now. This is truly an institution on the internet, Gilda. If you want to know anything about migration to Portugal, Monday mornings, come to the Good Morning Portugal show, just as Rishab Kiriana has done this morning. Good morning to you. Bon dia, Carl and Gilda. Question for Gilda. Any experience working with the New Delhi, India embassy? I've heard they are difficult to work with, especially regarding passive/active income. Is this true, Gilda?
Yes, this is true. So you have everything needs to be very well proved and explained. So you need to give them all the proofs of your passive income. Important that on your motivation letter you explain where do you get your passive income and how much are you going to bring to Portugal every month, and how much do you have on your bank accounts abroad, and how much do you have on your bank account in Portugal, and what are you going to do with the money that you have in Portugal, for instance, for your day-to-day expenses. It needs to be very well justified.
Okay, so to be very thorough is the answer to that, isn't it? So, I mean, difficult would be one way of interpreting it, but if you go thoroughly prepared with an in-depth analysis of how you intend to live in the way that Gilda has just said, you should be all right, Rishab. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for your question this morning. Elra's here. Seeing more of you recently, Elra, and we're glad of that. Is it possible to switch? Oh, Gilda's gone to sleep, I think, for a moment. No, she's back.
No.
You froze. We've both got internet problems. Maybe it's the solar eclipse. Is it possible to switch residency from D2 owning a business to independent service provider or a work contract residency? Thanks from Be Good. Good advice. Be Good.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing because the D2 can be both So if you are owning a business, you go to SEF, you show that you have a business. But then if you want to shut down the business and present independent service provider or a work contract when you are going to renew, you don't have a problem. But if you want to switch before you go to SEF to an independent service provider, there is no problem, because the D2 is for owning a business or for independent service provider. For a work contract, it needs to be further on the way when you are going to renew your residence after 2 years.
Okay, so basically, yes. I mean, in as much as it's pretty much the same thing, be good. Thank you very much for your question this morning. Right, yeah. Jess enjoyed the therapy session we enjoy that, don't we, as well, Gilda? It's quite a new thing, isn't in our history, Gilda? But you're there in the green room listening to James's advice for the week. Nice way to set up the week, I think. Good morning, Carl and James. That's when Joao tuned in as well. And another question for you from Hussein Ali. Good morning, Hussein. If someone sets up a company in Portugal and does manifestation of interest from outside Portugal, how long is the processing for that, Gilda? You're freezing up as well. This is definitely Mercury in retrograde this morning. Oh, she's gone. I don't know if she's gone for you as well, folks, but she's gone for me.
I don't know what is happening.
I don't know what's happening either. Can you hear me now, Gilda?
Yes, I can.
Okay, well, we're good. Please go ahead and answer the question. Let's see if the technology supports us to do so. No, it's not happening. I can hear you. Gilda, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Weird times. Mercury in retrograde, eclipse. Oh my goodness. I'm hoping this is something that you're not going to have to get used to. Yes, this question: if someone sets up a company in Portugal and does manifestation of interest from inside Portugal, how long does the processing take? Is that even possible? And I think you're Ali Hussein, aren't you?
Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. That it's not advisable to do. Okay. Because the person needs to come to Portugal as a tourist. So there is a risky situation. If he gets caught by the authorities, he might get stopped there.
Okay, because moving to Portugal is something done from outside of Portugal and not from within Portugal. So there you go, Ali. I hope that helps you there. Good morning to all the others.
Yes. Wait. I didn't stop. However, if he's in Portugal and he decides to set up a company here and he applies for a manifestação de interesse, which is legal, it can take from 18 to 24 months. But knowing there is a risk there.
Okay, there you
go.
And
I cannot give this kind of advice.
Of course, but I think you get the picture there, Ali. Okay, Antonio F, Joao F, all here this morning. Bon dia tugas from Elra as well. Jean saying, morning all. We signed papers on a place in tomorrow on Friday. Nothing stopping us now. Ain't no stopping us now. Fantastic. A lunar eclipse is when the moon passes through the shadow of the Earth. The moon is only illuminated by sunsets that pass through the edge of the Earth's atmosphere. Thank you, T-Duck, for that. When you see a lunar eclipse, you're actually seeing all the sunsets from around the Earth. Isn't that a poetic way of looking at it? Another question for you, Gilda. Is there a possibility, if there was a possibility, to apply from Croatia through the DNV temporary residence permit for the D7? Would it be a better option over the New Delhi approach? A supplementary question from Rishab this morning. What do you think?
It depends. If the visa from Croatia is from more than 6 months, yes, it can be an option.
Oh, I say, okay, fantastic. Rishab knows his stuff there, and we had some earlier Portuguese, some of those Portuguese proverbs, Gilda, that we must go back to. But thank you, Rishab, for that. You may need to remind me, T Duck, of the Portuguese proverbs. I don't know where they've gone. Trevor Jones has a question. A question for Gilda: do U.S. citizens need their FBI background summary apostilled for the VFS? We just gave VFS the unopened summary from the FBI, and that works. Has this changed?
No, it hasn't changed, except for the New York consulate that I don't know what is happening. It's asking for the apostille, not for all the process, but for some of the process.
Okay. All right there. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, I can't find our Portuguese proverbs because we loved those last week. T-Duck, if you could give them to me again. And I hope the same thing hasn't happened to today in Portuguese history. Okay, so there we go. Trevor, thank you very much for that question. What's this? I thought there might be a chess player or two amongst the Gumpers. I love this place. I need another good night's sleep, thinking of returning after dropping and getting my van in Caldash. Suze, have a great day today. You deserve the rest after your epic adventure. So true, James. Life is all about choices. Notice and what is it? Yes, nice one, Cindy B. See what you did here. Choose to fondle the like button after noticing it. Act. Fantastic. Pam's in as well this morning. That was too much for Carl. Oh, I know what's happened. Oh my word, this is what's happened, Gilda. When we went off, we lost all the earlier comments. So today in Portuguese history has disappeared. The Portuguese proverbs have disappeared. Prof, T-Duck, if you can help with those, I'd be most grateful. And any questions that came in before that have now disappeared from the screen, I'm so sorry. Hi, Gilda and Carl. I was planning to apply for the D7 with my wife, says Zach. Good morning to you, Zach. I was wondering, would it be easier, better to apply alone and bring my wife later through family reunification? Limited savings, less than 25K. Gilda, what do you think?
Well, to answer this question, I would also need to know your monthly passive.
Oh, no. Oh, there you go.
But savings, I would say, and unification with your wife.
Okay, I hope you got that, Zach. I don't know if it was just breaking up for me or if that was for everybody, but Gilda, did you basically say that is a good idea to wait until later, but depending on what the passive income situation is and whether it's enough to support both people? Oh, hello. Okay, I'm going to see if things settle down. I'll come back to you in a moment, Gilda. Let's just go to a bit of Portuguese history now. Marvelous. Okay, let's get that picture off the screen there. There are comments going. This is a very, very strange show this morning. I hope you can still hear me, Gilda. We got a little bit of today in Portuguese history from the prof. Numero uno. 2011 Eurozone leaders, the Troika, approve a 78 billion bailout package for Portugal, who become the third Eurozone country after Ireland and Greece to receive funds. And Prof goes on to say, 1834, the Battle of Aceira ends the Portuguese Civil War, aka the Liberal Wars. Liberals always in the middle of some trouble, aren't they? The last and decisive engagement of the Portuguese Civil War. After 6 years of civil war, a peace was declared by which Miguel formally renounced all claims to the throne of Portugal, was guaranteed an annual pension, and was indefinitely exiled. Can you imagine just figuring out that deal there? Okay, I have to renounce my claim to the throne. I'll get a pension and I'll be exiled. Oh, go on then. I'm sick of all this fighting. But that is not Miguel, for the purposes of clarification. That is not Miguel in the picture there, is it? Pedro restored the constitutional charter, but he died in September, 24th of September, 1834. Maria da Gloria resumed her uninterrupted reign as Maria II, Maria Segunda of Portugal. And this weekend, apparently, in Portuguese history, 1941, Ian Fleming stays at the Hotel Palacio Estoril, and James Bond is born. Fantastic. Ding, 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 ding. During World War II, Lisbon was an important espionage hub, or maybe during the World Wars, in plural, with agents and double agents tailing each other and sometimes meeting openly in the capital's bars. And I believe that's where the Bolo de Berlin comes from as well, the Berlin spies coming to Portugal and wanting their familiar confection. And still to this day, we like a donut stuffed with custard, thanks to those spies. Aftab is here. Gilda, another one for you. What kind of visa? D2 or D7 does a seaman qualify as? I work for an international shipping company and work on board the ship on a rotation basis, 3 months on and 3 months off. What an interesting job you have, Aftab. What would you say? That's got to be a D7, isn't it?
Yes, it has to be a D7.
Right, okay. Anything else you want to add to that?
Yes, I've already done D7s for this kind of job, and they might have a problem with the minimum staying in the country. Yeah, but we managed to explain to the authorities that it was because of the kind of job. And they accepted the justification.
Okay, all right. Aftab, that's good news, isn't it? Sorry, Carl. What I'm saying is I've had no problem moving around paying taxes or generally living here without the elusive SEF appointment. Just wondered how it benefits me more to see them. Okay, well, let's go further into this situation then, Gilda. As a Brit with a crew that preferably has been turned into a QR code, Deborah is not under any obligation to report to SEF, is she?
She is.
She is. So oh, okay. So she needs to go to upgrade the QR code into a personal appointment. But as you said, they haven't figured out how that's going to happen yet, right?
No.
Should she just keep? She says she just needs to keep trying.
Yes, she just needs to keep waiting.
Okay, you need to keep waiting. So you have to do it anyway, Deborah. Whether you choose to do that or not for yourself is another matter. But legally, you are meant to see them. Victoria's here, everybody. Look, hola, bon dia, kids. Have you got anywhere with organising a party with Victoria yet, Gilda?
No, but actually, there is a very important issue that I would like to talk about. Is when are we going to have a meetup this summer, all of us?
Okay, that is a very important. You made it sound so serious there. Oh my God, I'm in trouble now. I will be in trouble if I don't organise a meetup.
Yes,
I think I can glean from that. Well, yeah, for sure. Victoria here spent a fun Sunday adventuring in Sagres, Praia da Ingrina. You back already? And finding the megalithic Meni de Padrão. How's everyone? We're doing great. You're back in the country already. That's amazing. Good to see you here, Victoria. No, okay, so to the serious matter. Never mind about all this migration business. When are we having a meetup? Well, yeah, I think you're absolutely right, Gilda. The meetup, the small local meetup, has been really popular in San Martinho de Porto. So the Silver Coast one is underway. We have pledges from Portimao, Jack down there, Pombal, Mati, and in Lisbon we have Andy as well. So we will do something, and I think
I was never invited for any of it. Just for the record.
Oh dear. People can feel how awkward this is for me now. Sat at home laughing at Carl. He's really quite a lot of trouble now with Gilda. Quite frankly, Gilda, I do not know how to back out of this cul-de-sac in which I have put. I just have to say, mea culpa. My bad. I'm so sorry. I just thought you knew you'd be welcome to any of our. Well, there's only one gathering so far. And obviously, I'm going to have to try extra hard now to make a fantastic summer gathering. So let's build it around you in that case, given the terrible social and professional faux pas I've just committed in front of our audience here. You obviously want it to be the capital, so it's nice and convenient.
No. It doesn't need to be in the capital. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, so getting out of town, maybe the Silver Coast, then that would work for me very nicely. And what I mean, obviously, we've got to have food and drink. That's I think that's actually a national crime to organise an event in Portugal without having food and drink.
Yes,
Yes,
impossible.
you can go to jail for that. And shall we get Jerry on the guitar? Are we going to have karaoke? Are we going to have disco? Are we going to have a band? What would you like to have for the entertainment?
Jerry on the guitar.
Jerry plays guitar. He does. Why are you laughing? He could be he's Irish. He's a singer-songwriter. Come on, it's going to be great fun. It's going to be audience participation. You love singing Sweet Caroline, don't you? Ba-ba-do. No? Okay. No, all right. So maybe we'll get a band instead then. Or karaoke. Karaoke. I mean, seeing some of our lovely friends singing karaoke here will be a hoot, I think. Seeing you sing karaoke, I think will be great as well. You could do So Dad, couldn't you? What's your favorite karaoke song? I Will Survive?
I don't have. I sing so bad that I avoid singing karaoke.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so maybe
it's so bad.
After 5 glasses of wine, we'll do that. Okay, well, I think this is a go. I think we will do this. I think we're going to have a lot of fun. And do you think it should be an overnighter, like check in on the Saturday morning or the Saturday lunchtime, hang out a bit on Saturday afternoon, party hard on the Saturday night, and then have a hungover and somewhat muted and quiet breakfast on the Sunday, and then all go home?
Yeah, that can be a choice. And what about the kids? They can be like playing over there, right?
That's right. Portuguese childcare at its best, playing over there. That's right. And we'll get a few grandmas over, won't we? And granddads, and the kids and the grandparents can play together whilst the adults talk serious business, obviously, which is what this is all about. Okay. Fantastic. Okay. It's a plan. This has come in. People are talking about this, Gilda. It was the picture for today's show. Welcome to Portugal, the new expat haven. Californians, please go home. Now, I'm not going to read through the whole article. I will put the link to it in the chat. But, I mean, you must have seen an absolute upswell in American interest in Portugal. What do you make of this new article in the LA Times and similar articles? Because it's not the only one.
Well, I think that Portugal is going through a bittersweet feeling about the expats in Lisbon, because they want to receive them, but at the same time they feel that the houses are going to get the prices of the houses are getting very expensive, and they can no longer live in the places in Lisbon that they used to live. But this is not one thing that has to do with Americans only. Just to give you an example, there are buildings, entire buildings in the Expo that were sold to another nationality I don't want to mention for golden visas, and the entire building is empty.
Yeah,
and it's like degrading,
of course.
And it's sad for the Portuguese to see that they could live there. It's their city, and they can't, because these people bought the properties and they are not living there.
So what do you think is the solution to this? I mean, Portugal, Lisbon is not alone in this phenomenon, is it? This is what we might loosely call gentrification, the foreigner buying power coming in, destabilizing things, locking locals out of neighborhoods that they would have grown up in and they can no longer get access to. People would look to the government, wouldn't they, to deal with this in some way. And of course, we have had little gestures, haven't we, from the government to try and address this. On the one hand, a modern government is thinking, yes, all of this inward investment is a fantastic idea, but also we need to balance that with the needs of our local inhabitants and our voters, basically, who shouldn't feel the rough end of this phenomenon. Do you think the Portuguese government is making an effort with this and is getting it right?
Yes, the balance already came with the new rules for the golden visa. Now,
Okay.
if you want to invest, it needs to be in the interior of Portugal.
Yeah. Yeah. And well, we're seeing this, aren't we? And in the north, because I spoke to Anna Caramujo of Savicat on Thursday on the webinar, and she says Braga is experiencing well, Porto, we know, don't we? And now Braga is experiencing this same phenomenon that we're speaking of here.
Yes, that's true.
And so from the point of view, if we take the emphasis away from what the government could do, because sometimes, let's face it, you have to wait a long time for the government to respond. We go back to what James was saying about personal choices and what you can do for yourself. Would you say then, to expand on what you just said, the smart thing to do is to look at central Portugal, is to go into the interior, is to consider. I mean, there is still a lot of Portugal that is unknown to the rest of the world, right? The phenomenon we're talking about here is a lot to do with the capital. It's a lot to do with Porto, Braga, and the Algarve possibly, and maybe the Silver Coast to some extent. But that by no means is all of Portugal, is it? There is so much more of Portugal to explore.
Yes, exactly. And we need to be very grateful because we were in an economic crisis, and without any doubt, it was the tourism and what the foreigners invest in Portugal and the expats that went to live here that took us out of the economic crisis. So this was a blessing for us.
Okay.
On the other hand, of course, there were people that were sad because they could no longer live in central Lisbon. But we can never get the best of both worlds.
Yeah. Okay. I suppose one solution might be for more public housing, social housing to be built in the capital. But yes, this is a globalization. This is a very modern thing, isn't it? It's not, and like I said before, this is certainly not unique to Portugal or Lisbon. This seems to be happening all over the world, and countries can become victims of their own success. And unfortunately, that is felt on a personal level among people. But I'm glad to hear that you think the response is fairly constructive and positive. And I suppose that's a really good way of seeing it. That it's a good start, isn't it? It's a good start to have the stimulation of inward investment, and what we do now over here is important. And we talk a lot about this at Expats Portugal. The expats, the immigrants, the foreigners, being of a certain kind of mentality and being respectful. That's really important as well, I think. And that's a conversation we'll continue to have here. Anything else you want to say about this particular? This whole thing that seems to be gathering ground and is so much more popular in the mainstream media and certainly the American media there, Gilda?
Yes, and another issue is that you have decreased our employment a lot.
Okay. Decrease as in more people have jobs now. It's stimulating.
Yes, more people have jobs now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because of the tourism, because of we have much more restaurants, we have more cafes, we have more hotels. So more people have jobs right now.
And that is despite 2 years of pandemic. So well done, Portugal. It has to be said, doesn't it? Despite these last crazy 2 years for the world, here we are coming into festa times and quite the most incredible party time, the Roaring 20s, as I've said. Here in Portugal, people are wanting to party, and they clearly are around Portugal, and the foreigners can see that. Get yourself to a festa in central Portugal. Other parts of the country are available, other than Porto, Lisboa, Braga, Silver Coast. There is so much to enjoy here in this country, and you're coming in at a great time when people are ready to party again. You will see a fantastic face of Portugal in the coming summer, I think. Are you excited about this summer, Gilda? Did you get that same feeling as well as like Portuguese people? Yep, come on, let's go. Vamos embora. Festa, festa, festa.
I'm always excited about summer.
Okay. And do you hear in the back of your head, Obatope, 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 Obatope? Is that one of your favorites? It's one of my favorites anyway. Look, there's a picture of Lisboa there with one of those mega cruise liners. They are incredible, those things. And I hear you can sail, for you Brits, you can sail from Lisbon to Southampton. What's that? Is it Logi Travel, that the Portuguese travel company? Logi Travel. I think, or leisure travel. They've been advertising at €180 sailing from Lisbon to Southampton in the UK, which is a great way for anyone, not just Brits, to go over to Blighty on a 4-day sailing trip. Thank you for that analysis, Gilda, prompted there by the LA Times article. I think we had a Wall Street Journal one a little while ago. That will continue, I'm sure. We've not heard the end of it. Chris Rattenbury's in this morning and saying that it's damp in Devon. Hope you and family are well, Cobra, from Mrs. T. Lots of love to you and Mrs. T. We're all very well here. Thank you for asking, Chris. Much appreciated. Bon dia, Gilda and Carl, from our friend Jim in Porto.
Yeah.
And that is one of, look at that. Deborah, who was asking the question before.
Oh, beautiful.
She made that. What an incredible, talented community we have here. I have a residency permit, and the last heard I need a biometric card. The biometric card, yes, so that's going to be the bit after the QR code that's going to be done. Is that what you mean by a Ceph machine? It does the biometric?
Yeah.
Okay. So they are being made somewhere, probably in China at the moment, aren't they? Ironically, the Ceph machine will be coming possibly to a town hall near you to take pictures of your eyeballs and to capture your fingerprints.
Yes.
And to graduate you from QR code to biometrics. I've had no problems with the paperwork I have here on UK withdrawal agreement Brexit. I have a code, but nothing. So she's at the QR stage. Keep trying. It's the best advice we can give. And Jean, loving your sculpture. Awesome. Very Burning Man-esque. And we did an interview with you, didn't we, Deborah? Maybe it's time to come back and show us some more of your work. Please feel free to put your website address in the comments as well so people can find out more about you and your work. Bon dia, Gilda from Aftab. And we dealt with your question earlier on, I think. Aftab, the big bird equivalent from Sesame Street, United States, is named Pupa, is the hoopoe bird. I didn't realize Big Bird was a hoopoe. On Rua Sesamo, Portugal. He's orange and tan and very yellow. Guru Slug from the Redwoods this morning. That's his name for the week, everybody. Bon dia, everyone. And it is a magical Monday. Choose magic, everybody. Oi, the British oi. You lot hit the like button and do it with pride. Do it with determination. Do it with love of Portugal. Do it with all your being. Do it because you love Gilda. God. That's an offer you can't refuse, right? We are awaiting our SNS numbers. Oh, you have our condolences. It varies, doesn't it? Would showing up at the centre in person expedite things, or is it best to wait? Thank you, Gilda. What do you reckon?
I think that because you look so lovely, Jim, you can go to the center, and I think they will be very nice to you and will expedite things.
Okay, and Jim, if you're available for hire to go with other people to help them expedite their SMS numbers as well, do let us know in the chat as well. Wonderful, says Jean. Such a wonderful exposition. Just accidentally happening near a brutal desert environment and 24-hour dance party. Oh, that's Burning Man that's being spoken about there. We've done Aftab's question about D2 or D7. Gilda, we've only got 10 minutes left. I can't believe it. Was there anything else you wanted to update us on? I didn't ask you for Ceph or ATMA or anything else updates. Is there anything else to share with us? Reunification, etc., etc.
No, we were able to make all the appointments from our clients, which was very good. So this time, yeah.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Gilda, for the very detailed answers. You're amazing. We will reach out to EI, says Rishab, when the time comes. Thanks again, and thanks, Carl, for this amazing platform. It's our pleasure, Rishab. Thank you. Gilda from Sam Nazare. I know of someone whose D7 visa was denied because of the purpose of the application has not been proven. Curious, why would this happen, Gilda? We don't hear of this very often, do we?
The purpose of the application. Yeah, we do, because many people that it was not proved come to us to make an appeal. Sometimes it happens because the letter, the motivation letter, is not very well explained.
People need to try
you don't explain the motivations very well.
Well, okay. I mean, obviously, if you're applying for migration to a new country, you want to impress them, don't you? You want to dazzle them, right?
Yeah.
Rather than like, Well, I don't know. I just fancy a change. It's got to be a bit more upbeat and exciting than that, hasn't it? I think, basically. And I'm sure EI can help you write a much better motivation letter than the one that got that person.
Yeah, it needs to be like I get my retirement, and with my retirement, I want to go to Portugal to spend all my savings and all my money. You
Yes.
need to like to convince that you are going to add value to the country.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay, very good. Thank you for that, for prompting that, Sam Nazare. Pedro restored the. Have we done this? Restored the. I think it's worth doing again. Yes, but he died in September of 1834. Maria da Gloria resumed her uninterrupted reign as Maria Segunda of Portugal. Oh, yeah, and of course, James Bond being discovered, or Portugal, Estoril, the casino, being the inspiration for Bond. During the world wars, it was, of course, an important espionage hub, as we read before. But one of these agents that was here was the Serbian spy and British double agent Duško Popov, a character who fascinated Ian Fleming and who worked for naval intelligence. He contemplated his naval when, in 1941, the two men met in Estoril. Popov is considered to be one of the main inspiration for Ian Fleming's James Bond novels. And I think he was called the Tricycle because he always had a girl on each arm. Tricycle. Sorry, Carl, couldn't hear Gilda's answer to my D7 family reunification question. Zach, we better go back to that then, hadn't we? Let's reiterate on that, Gilda. Oh, this is the question about, is it better to come alone and then go for reunification later? And I think your answer was to make sure that the passive income was sufficient for two people subsequently.
Yes,
is that right?
yes. If not, if it isn't, you should apply for yourself and then do the family reunification here.
There you go, Zach. I hope that helps. Nice picture, by the way. Where is that? Is that Portugal? Aftab, thanks, Gilda. That would have been my follow-up question regarding minimum stay for seamen. I will be in touch. Stop sniggering, Peter Bleach. I will be in touch with you soon. Biometric cards. Is that only for Brits, the biometric card? Good question, T-Duck.
No, the biometric cards are for everyone. For everyone that needs the resident permits. Only that for the Brits, they are deciding if it's going to be at CEF or at the City Hall. But it seems that it's going to happen at the City Hall because with CEF it's going to take longer and they don't want to have more people there.
So T-Duck might already have a biometric card as a resident.
Who?
Thunder here. The person asking the question, our dear pal Thunderduck. So asking, is the biometric card only for Brits? I mean, is there a biometric element to all residency cards?
Yes, that's...
You already got it. You already got it, Tito. Yay for the meetup. So I think I really like what you did earlier on, Gilda. You kind of got me creating a meetup out of thin air. Now I have to follow through on that. How do you do that? You must have learned that at business or management school or something like that. Hola, Oshmish, gente. I had a wonderful weekend, great weekend with Antonio and the Midlife Rebels. Yes, Lisbon will never be the same again. Now, in case you thought to yourself, the world has been put right, and if you felt a disturbance in the force, it was, of course, because these three did meet up in Lisbon over the weekend, and their political discussion has culminated in everything being well with the world. Okay, Gilda, where are you going on holes this summer? It must be the Algarve, right? Personal question. Are you happy to answer that?
I'm going 1 week to the Algarve and the other week to the Alentejo.
There you go. As predicted, I would have said that. That's what my money would have been on. In Prada Rocha, we are having a standing Tuesday meetup at the Moonlight. That sounds exhausting, having to stand up for the whole meetup. Come on, says Victoria to everybody. But you said not to invite Gilda. What? The answer? What? The answer is they're just trying to get me in trouble, I think, Gilda. Don't take any notice of this nonsense. What are you like, you lot? The answer is F. Thank you, James. Thank you for turning that around for me. Ali, how long does a D2 independent worker visa processing take in general if applied from a country of residence, Pakistan? And can it be applied with family? Thank you, Ali, for your second question this morning.
Well, to be honest, it can take up to 6 months. and no, it cannot be applied with family. So what you can do is that you apply for the D2 alone, and then you try to get a Schengen visa for your family, and they have to do the family reunification here.
There you go, Ali. Thank you for being here this morning. Thank you for asking your question. And thank you, Gilda, for the answer there. Gilda, you are cordially invited, but only if you bring Mandela. Yeah, seriously, that is going to be a deal breaker. So we need to get a hotel that accepts dogs.
No, he's going to make such a mess.
Well, I think he'll have a number of babysitters. He'll be in good hands for the whole of the event, won't he?
Okay, I bring him, and then he stays at your place with Jimmy Choo.
What could possibly go wrong with that? I wonder. Peggy, dear old Peggy, will keep him in line, I suspect. Maybe not. The GMP party, I suggest you have it somewhere where people can't segregate themselves into small. Look, you start in trouble already, Rebel Mama, because it's difficult to talk to everyone. Needs to be a proper party space. Don't worry, we'll be pushing the furniture and rolling back the rug, cutting up a rug, as they say. On the Saturday night. So don't you worry about that, Rebel Mama. In fact, we might have to get you in on that with your ice-breaking plans there, so we don't have little cliques. And maybe we should ban political conversation for that matter while we're about it on that particular weekend. Hi, can I please ask, when applying for a visa, does having a disability go against you? Well, I certainly hope not. Grandma wanders off.
No, it hasn't. I have done many visas with disability, so perfect. Not at all.
Well done. Meet up! If Banana Slug turns up and he's not yellow and slug-like, I will be very disappointed. Pressure's on for quite a few people this morning. Gilda, look at this. People are turning on me this morning. Gilda, I would have invited you, says Chris. Carl, sort it out. They're all separating themselves from me now. Okay, watched TV for the first time in weeks. CNN in Portuguese and English. Big story is Finlandia joining NATO. Love that Finland is Finlandia here. Fantastic. Capricorn to Chris. We had a lovely lunch on the beach there and hiked over a few more beaches. Loved Ingrina. And Jim likes the plan. Jim likes the plan that we've come up with this morning. So we've got to just go ahead and do it now. Are there any wedding planners or party event organizers in our crowd who might like to take that up? Oh, Deborah, feeling a lot like obligation now. Serious choice making to be done now, if I so choose. You better be slimy and yellow when people meet you, Guru Slug. I never get to dance. I'm too busy trying to build the damn things. Are you a burner? Oh, at whatchamacallit? What's it called? Not Man Cave. Burning Man. Hi, Khadija. Sorry to have missed you last week. Let's plan something soon. We are not expats. Oh, this debate this morning. I bet people in Lisbon are really fed up due to house increased prices. Yeah, I don't know. I think we gave that a good spotlight this morning, but I'm sure you're right. French. What does that mean? What was that referring to there? I wonder. Okay, that was a guess about the block, I think. Californians, please go home. They said that in Seattle in the 90s. Turns out it was mostly Eastern Washingtonians moving there in droves. Besides, most caliphs aren't the problem. Americans, lol. Steady, please, Americans. Calm yourselves this morning. But houses haven't been affordable for years. Predates Californians. Well said, Elra. We are going into the conversation now. The Empire. Someone call the Jedi. The gentrification is happening in my Welsh village. There you go. Doug's in this morning. Properties now selling for millions. Oh, my goodness. There's no escape from it. Good morning, everyone. Sorry, late log on work reason. Gemini, you are excused. This happened in London. That's what I said. It's not uniquely Lisbon, is it? Some new buildings that have been built in the London are completely empty. They have been empty for years. Indeed. Deborah, I may have camped in the dust a few times. that has all sorts of meanings, Gene. I was working a fair amount medical, but also experienced it in the past. But here now in Portugal, have you been to that amazing, what's the festival? The amazing festival where they tidy up at the end and you never know they've been there in central Portugal. Morning, Mandela. This is an incredibly complex issue. There are no simple fixes. Thank you, Guru, on that. Did I hear grateful? Always a great choice. Thank you. And on another subject, I'm sad Moldova didn't win Eurovision. They had the best kitsch going for sure. Yeah, it was a good one. I enjoyed it actually on Saturday night. San Martino de Porto, Nazare, Caldas, all too busy for me. Beautiful, but too much going on. Guess I'm the sleepy village type. We need to talk. Regarding immigrants, the key is also to get involved in the country and the culture, learning the language, working, volunteering, contributing to society. I'm sure you'd agree with that, right, Gilda?
Yes. For sure.
And good
But
morning,
I think that everyone that makes part of this community here, you do that.
Thank you so much for acknowledging that, Gilda. I'm really pleased to hear that. Good morning, people. Gardening show tonight, of course, 6:15, everybody, on this channel. Do tune in for that. Can't tell you any more about that, Gary, except go to Facebook or send me a message and I'll see what I can find for you. Fiddle and accordion always win in my book. Would you want to hear fiddle and accordion music at our meetup, Gilda? If we could discuss a little bit more of the detail here.
What is that?
The squeeze box.
The accordion. And what about fiddle?
Is the violin.
Okay.
Or do you want banging tunes?
No. I don't like that.
Gilda, do you think they will be extending the driving license exchange again? Yeah, why not? Until 2030. Make it easy. Like everyone can relax then, can't they? You don't know. Okay, I'm guessing it's anyone's guess, isn't it? How are the airports? I'm due in next week. Deagle's on his way. Are you hearing this from anybody? How is the airport at the moment?
Yes, the queues have been huge when you arrive.
Right to say, Deagle. Yeah. But then again, he's coming in as you're going to be a foreigner, aren't you? You're going to be in the foreigner queue, unless you've got an Irish passport as well, a Republic passport. Regarding Jim's SNS, says Guru Slug, make the tiniest effort to speak with them in Portuguese, and they will smile and roll out the red carpet. At least that was my experience. Check him out. Take James with you, Jim. I would love all the Gumpers to meet up. Not sure how much longer I'll be here. Sell, donate stuff, sell van. And Clayton. What does that mean? Clayton, is that a pipe? Are you selling your pipe? In my very modest and rather ignorant opinion, the government is, as in many other aspects of public life, chasing the damage instead of foreseeing it and taking preventive measures. Well, this is what happens with short terms, isn't it? Shifting, but then again, you don't want them in for a longer term. Shifting investment to the interior of the country may have its merits, but in the long term, it might end up having the same consequences as in Lisbon, Porto, Braga, and other cities. We shall see. And now is the time, isn't it, for more people to get involved in politics rather than just sitting on the sidelines, perhaps taking part in their local life of their community. A true set of rules limiting price speculation is what's needed, according to Joao F. on that. Last few comments then this morning. Thank you so much, everybody, for all your comments and for winding me up about the meetup. That's so funny. I'll get you all back in due course. I'll get you on the karaoke machine, which will be payback time. A great explanation. Thanks, Gilda. I'll send them your way. That was about the rejection. Jay Rayan is here. If I get deployed, not developed, by my Portuguese company to work outside Portugal, will the time spent outside count for my residency tax purposes? That's a great question, Jay Rayan.
To work outside Portugal. Yes, you should spend for tax purpose for sure. You have to spend here more than 6 months and 1 day. Okay. For the residents, the limits, the minimum staying can be explained for professional reasons.
Oh, okay. So that there is an attenuating factor for being a professional that gets deployed outside Portugal. So there you go, Jay Rayan. Maybe get in touch with EI or A in our business directory this morning. So last couple of comments. You got to go, I'm sure, Gilda, this morning, and say hi to all of the team there in Lisboa. And do give him our best, won't you, from all of the community here. I'm very sad and slightly offended to hear this, that Brits are not special. The biometric card is the residency card, right?
Yes, it is. It is.
And no, says Elra, Brits are not special. You can't come in here saying things like that. We are so special, Elra. Everyone gets a biometric card. Look, there's a special relationship between the Portuguese and the British, the Treaty of Windsor. You can't say things like that. Jay Rayan, is it 5 or 6 years of residency that's needed to apply for Portuguese citizenship? Lots of confusion. Can you cut through that for us now?
Yes, it's 5 years, and the confusion is because the law changed, and before it was 6 years.
Okay. All right. So there you go. That's the confusion cut through, I believe. So Deborah, come on. Should I still keep checking for an online CEF appointment if they are going to change it to a different system? Yes, you got to keep trying, haven't you? And we need bags of ballroom apparently for the meetup. Excellent. Thank you, Guru Slug. And thank you from Grandma. Disability should definitely not be a problem in any area of life for human beings, should it? And that's a great answer that you received from Gilda there, Grandma. Rima has told me off for turning on you. Yes, quite right. Now I'm in the doghouse with Mandela and yes, quite right too. It wasn't me, Gilda, says Chris. But you can make it up to me. We're gonna party and put it all behind us this coming summer. Oh, Portuguese Constitution, Article 71: citizens with physical or mental disability shall enjoy the fully enjoy, no less, the rights and shall be subject to the duties enshrined in the Constitution. So there you go. That's probably a really good note to finish on. We can't get to any more. We are 7 minutes past 10. Got to let you go, Gilda, while I see if there are any more comments or pictures for me to share that I didn't get round to today, and I might have to carry them over till tomorrow. So Gilda, thank you so much. Love to the team. Anything else you want to say to us before you go this morning?
No, it was a pleasure being with you as always.
Yeah, marvelous. It was likewise. Igualmente, and sorry for crashing the show earlier on. The Portuguese was just too much, I think. So we'll see you next Monday. If not before, Gilda, take care. Bye for now. Have a great week.
Bye-bye.
Love to the family and to Mandela as well. So let's take that banner off the screen and let's see how we resolve the show this morning. Phil, are you tuned in? Looking forward to seeing you later on. And let's take the banner off and let's see what pickies we didn't get around to this morning. So many, in fact, so many. You've seen the Lisbon 3 right here. You've seen Bonnie Tyler this morning, but you didn't see, thanks to Anna, what was happening in your part of the world there. Anna, let me just explain to everybody what's been going on down in the Algarve. If my mouse will go to the right, this two-screen business can be a little bit irritating, but I'm all right now. Anna, bon dia, celebrating 246 years this weekend since the city of Villarreal Santo Antonio was rebuilt, founded. It was totally demolished after the earthquake tsunami. My goodness, I've never seen so many people gathered in Villa. In VRSA, I'm going to call it. I have a setup in my mind now where VRSA. I can't remember what it stands for. But I know it's Santo Antonio at the end. Help me out, somebody, with that. There's the fireworks to celebrate those 246 years since it was all rebuilt and refounded. And there are the many people that look a bit serious. I think they're listening to the mayor talking about how delighted he is to be here today on the 246th anniversary. But there you go. Fireworks in VRSA, I'll go with for the time being. What have we got here? Are you still there? Because we had a God Squad thought of the day. We had a not Mr. Rogers, the other one, Will Rogers quote of the day. They disappeared from the screen, sadly. So I think Coach Turner, you need to send those to me on WhatsApp to make sure they get included. But this is your son finishing another 100-kilometer run, ultra challenge, incredible. What amazing work there over there in the UK. Fundraising, of course, as well. Let's look at all these events that Andy has sent in to us. The 11th Festa de Fava, that's been folded up and stuck in his back pocket. But look, a broad bean festival. Who doesn't like a broad bean festival? 22nd of May from 1 o'clock. I'm going to have to rattle through these, Andy. This is amazing. Thank you. And a radish festival, possibly. That's the 16th Feira dos Grelhos. And that's on the 20th, 21st, and 22nd of May. Is that really a radish festival? That's fantastic if it is. And even if it isn't, I'm sure it'll be fantastic with lots of fun to be had. The Festa San Sebastián, 20th. So much to do in the Bairro. I told you, didn't I? Oix do Bairro, 20th, 21st, 22nd. It's party time in the Aveiro district, folks. And I need to get these up on the events page, don't I? Caminhada. Or maybe you guys could do that for us and stick all of these up. Luso to Busaco, Busaco to Luso, 22nd of May. That is the Rota Napoleonica. Is that the Napoleon route? Yes, there's a reference to Napoleon. I see his hat there. And is that walking? Is that a walking effort? Send me a WhatsApp message if you want to know more, if you want to go to these. 18th to the 22nd of May, the Dia Internacional do Museu. This is International Museum Day, and the Sea Museum at Ilhavo, I should say, taking part in this. And I think there are some great benefits for anybody wishing to go to a museum. I think it's free entry. That's if it isn't already, right? Aren't most museums free in Portugal? But certainly there are some offers around International Day of the Museums. And I don't know whether that's the 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st or 22nd of May, but it'll be one of them. Juntos somos só. Together we are healthy. Pilates at 9 in the morning. And training and boot camp and nutritional advice on the 21st of May as well, up there in the Bairrada. And of course, the Auto Junk, 20th, 21st, and 22nd in Aveiro at the Expo Center. Thank you so much, Andy, for those. I think that just about does it for today. As Head Gardener McGrady said, don't forget to join us for the gardening Q&A at 6:15. Anything I've forgotten today, I will include tomorrow. Very special guest tomorrow, Kurt Stump is joining us, whose videos, if you haven't seen him, check out kurtstump.com. Makes beautiful Koyana Scarzi. I mean, sorry to make that comparison, Kurt, but that will certainly help people locate their understanding of you. Kurt will be popping on to be my guest tomorrow, an incredibly gifted musician, artist, and filmmaker. So looking forward to speaking to Kurt on Consumer Tuesday tomorrow. Did I have another video to share with you, or did I already play? No, I think we're good. I think we've done everything this morning, and it is 10:15, so you better go. And looks like we have Villarreal. It's the R I couldn't think of. I'm thinking of Villarreal de Santonio is a town in the Algarve. Thank you very much. I've been saying it forever. And it's just one of those things that goes out of my mind from time to time. Will Rogers quote of the day: if you feel the urge, don't be afraid to go on a wild goose chase. What do you think wild geese are for anyway? Well, there you go. Good advice. More good advice this morning. Just when you like cramming in one more wafer thin mint of advice this morning, go on a wild goose chase. And Article 81, primary duties of the state. To promote social justice, ensure equal opportunity, and carry out the necessary corrections to inequalities in the distribution of wealth and income, which of course takes us back, does it not, to that LA Times article. And nice shirt, Carl. Well, thank you very much. A little bit too open, I've realized as well, showing off my hairy chest this morning, but that's how tired I was. Muito cansada. Thank you, everybody, for helping us get over the line today. It's been a lot of fun, but my goodness, getting up at 4:30, I don't think I'll be doing that too often. One more look then at Bonnie Tyler this morning. Figure it out for yourselves. Once upon a time, there was light in my life, and now there's only love in the dark. Nothing I can say. A total eclipse of the heart. You've been amazing. We will see you tomorrow. Ciao, ciao. Maybe see you on the gardening Q&A later on this evening. Bye.